So Molly, we've still got you on video. So if you want to not be on video, there you go. Well done. So welcome everybody. How lovely that we're all here today and the sun is shining. So life is good when the sun shines. So let's do a first practice together, and it's simply just a practice to really drop in and let our day go. So finding a comfortable position, whether you're seated, whether you're lying down. If you're Crystal, you may be lying down. And let's begin just by bringing our awareness to every part of the body that is in contact with the floor or the chair. So let's begin with the feet. So taking your attention down to your feet. If you're seated, noticing the soles of each foot on the floor. Moving your awareness to the ankles, the heels rather. If the heels are in contact with the floor, if you're lying down. Then moving awareness to the calves, the back of the knee, the backs of the thigh. And just sensing the entire legs and feet, every part of the legs and feet that are in contact with the floor beneath you. Now moving your awareness to the buttocks, sensing the buttocks either on a cushion or the chair or whatever you're lying down on. Noticing if the weight is distributed evenly or more on one side than the other. Then moving awareness to the sacrum, the lower back, middle back, the upper back. And now just sensing from the coccyx to the vertebrae, any part of the back that is in contact with a cushion, a chair, or the floor beneath you. And now bringing awareness to the back of the head, if that's on a cushion or on a pillow. And moving your attention around to your hands resting on your lap or just beside you. And just on every exhale now, consciously allow your body just to relax into the cushion, into the chair, or into the floor. So there's a sense of letting go on the out-breath and just allowing whatever is supporting our body weight to really just hold us and support us. So consciously on the out-breath, we're sinking further down into the body, letting go. And no doubt many of us have had busy days or busy mornings. So turning your attention towards any thoughts that are present. Just becoming aware of what's on the mind. So perhaps noticing that when we turn our attention towards thoughts, they kind of get a bit shy, disappear, but just placing your awareness like a spacious, open awareness on what is present on the mind and noticing how thoughts begin to roll in. Some gather steam, some float past quickly. Some thoughts add to another thought, then to another thought. And now moving your attention away from what's on the mind to how you're feeling in this moment. So we're not judging the experience, we're just bringing an open curiosity to how we're feeling in this moment. So we can feel busy and maybe noticing how that feeling is connected to the thoughts that you're having. Maybe experiencing rest or calm after a busy day. Maybe a sense of excitement or joy or happiness. Now moving your attention away from how you're feeling in this moment to what state you're in. So that can mean all sorts of things to all sorts of people. So it could be simply a state of agitation or a state of, I'm not sure what's going to happen next. A state of whatever it is. Maybe noticing the state of concentration in the forehead. Often people feel a state of anxiousness or nervousness. So it's similar to how you're feeling, but there's a kind of an energetic imprint to what kind of state you're in. And it may just be the same as how you're feeling in this moment, and if so, that's okay. And now moving your attention towards the breath, wherever the breath settles in the body. So letting your thoughts go, letting how you're feeling in this moment go, letting your current state go, and turning your attention to the gentle inhale and exhale of the breath in the body. And bringing awareness to the quality of the breath. What state is the breath in this moment? Does the breath feel long and smooth, or short and restricted, or tight? Is the inhale longer than the exhale, or vice versa? Just seeing if there's any correlation between the quality of the breath and the state that you're in, or how you're feeling in this moment, or what's on the mind. And just coming back to resting on the breath. So we bring a sense of curiosity to our practice as much as bringing a sense of focused attention. So allowing everything to fall into the background, to fade into the background as you rest with the breath in center stage of your awareness as you breathe in And as you breathe out, and maybe you're able to hear the birds in the background through my microphone. And noticing these beautiful sounds can distract us away from the breath. Sounds of spring all around us. And if this is your experience, just with kindness, bringing your attention back to resting on the breath once more. So this beautiful breath of ours brings us into the present moment. We can't take a breath from the future. We can't take a breath from the past. There is only the breath in the body in this moment. And in fact, you don't even need to make the breath happen. You don't need to force the breath. The body knows how to breathe. So sensing the breath in the body, sensing the diaphragm moving down and pushing against the belly on the inhale. Noticing how the belly extends on the inhale, pushing against the clothing, and how the belly is released on the exhale as the diaphragm moves back up. Perhaps sensing the breath in the back of the rib cage. Perhaps even sensing the breath in other parts of the body as an inhale and exhale is completed, how the breath can be sensed in a gentle movement in the shoulders. So we're becoming present to each and every breath. This incredible life force within each and every one of us. And as we come to complete our first practice together, just imagining you're extending that breath throughout the entire body, from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. And now using your imagination even one step further, imagining that you're bringing a breath from the earth through the soles of your feet, and you're breathing in through the soles of your feet and up your legs, And then breathing out through your torso and out through the crown of your head. And then breathing in through the crown of your head, through the torso. Then breathing out through the legs, the soles of the feet, and into the earth. And breathing once more in through the soles of the feet, through the legs. And then breathing out through the torso and out through the crown of the head. And in through the crown of the head, through the body. And out through the legs, through the soles of the feet, and into Mother Earth. And gently just releasing this practice. And opening your eyes. So ladies and gentlemen, we have reached 1 year of this little circle, and it's amazing where that year has gone. Who knew that we would still be in lockdown all this time later? Well, especially for those of us in the UK. And you know, we've talked a little bit about this day being one that we need to celebrate. And you know, it's consistency really shows up and pays off, because the only break that we've had is over Christmas, and I think that was for a period of 2 weeks. And we've shown up weekly, and we've done this practice, and we've come together in this little community, and that is something to celebrate. Which leads me on to celebrating other things in our world, because I know for many of us, when we lead such busy lives, we don't actually stop to really congratulate ourselves and to acknowledge our achievements and to pat ourselves on the back and go, you know, well done, you did that. And I've got this client who has achieved enormous success. She was in a partnership in her own business, and she left and she started again from scratch, and she's built up her practice. And she's achieved milestone after milestone, and she finds it so hard to stop and congratulate and celebrate her achievements, her milestones, her results, and her successes. And it's really important for all of us to stop before moving on to the next thing and just celebrate something that we have achieved. And it doesn't need to be something big. It could be as simple as, you know, achieving a great week where you felt incredibly happy or joyful or been in a great mood, or whether you've been creative. You know, it can be really simple things, or changing up a routine, or bringing a little ritual into something, or it could be bigger milestones and achievements. Whether it's writing a chapter of your book, or getting clarity on your business, or a new client. And it's a good reminder to celebrate the little milestones and the big milestones. And that sort of moment of celebration enables us to stop and become really present to what is, because quite often we just move from task to task to task. We do one thing, we complete it, and we move on to the next thing. So I think it's a worthwhile to remind each and every one of ourselves to just stop and celebrate and say, hey, I did good. We've you know, and at the moment we maybe can't celebrate in the ways that we're used to celebrating, but we can try other ways to celebrate. So, you know, tonight I've got a little glass of wine to celebrate with our little group. It can be whatever it means to you in a way that celebration is significant for you. It can just be an acknowledgement. hey, I did this and I've got a lot to be proud of and I need to take a moment and celebrate this occasion. So our next practice is going to be a little bit more creative, and we're all gifted with the art of imagination and intuition. So I'll guide you through this, but we're going to recall a moment in our recent past. So it could be over the last year or over the last few months, where we have had something to celebrate and we may not have perhaps been with it and stayed with it and became present with it. So just closing your eyes again as we move into our second practice. And if it's easier or better for you to lower your gaze, you can do that too. And always in this practice, you have the opportunity to lie down. You don't always have to be seated. I like to be seated. But there's times I love to lie down. So just do what your body needs in this moment. Just finding that comfortable position, settling in. And let's begin by turning our attention towards the breath in the body. So that's the safe harbor that we can come home to again and again. It's that lovely anchor into the present moment. So just finding the breath in the body. And as you bring your attention towards the breath, if there's any part of the body where there's a sensation of tightness or discomfort or tingling, maybe just taking your attention there for a moment. For instance, we can hold so much tension in the forehead without really realizing it. And when we take our attention there, the forehead eases. So just using this time just to travel around the body, noticing any sensations that are present and taking your breath into that sensation and playing with it a little. Just seeing what happens when you take your attention of the breath into that sensation. And quite often in this practice, people can remember old injuries. It's like, oh yeah, there's that ankle that I twisted when I was 12. There's a little bit of discomfort there. So not needing to necessarily change the sensation, just becoming present to any sensation. Taking your breath there and breathing in and out through that sensation. And if there's no sensations, that's fine too. So often we can experience sensation in the lower back, the neck, the forehead, but equally in the hands and the feet, the toes, the fingernails. And there may just be the sensation of cool or warm air on the skin. And when you feel complete, just bringing your attention back to resting on the breath once more. Coming home to your safe harbor. So now I want you to just allow your imagination to guide you in this exercise. And just bringing to your mind's eye something in your recent past that perhaps you never really fully celebrated. So just allowing that moment or that situation or experience just to bubble to the surface. Maybe you did celebrate it, but not really in the way that you had wanted. Perhaps it was a birthday, or maybe Christmas or someone else's birthday. Maybe it was an achievement, something that you had accomplished. So just bringing that moment, that experience to the mind's eye, recalling that moment, that experience, and just reimagining that you really celebrated that occasion, that you gave yourself permission, there was freedom. So imagining perhaps our normal world, what it could look like if you had really, really celebrated in the way that was true and meaningful to you. So we're using our imagination to recreate an experience. What would you have done? How would it have made you feel? Who were you with? What would you have done that was different to perhaps how you did experience that moment? Sometimes it's as simple as just being super duper present to that achievement or that moment that was worth celebrating, being fully present, fully there, 1,000%. So as we imagine what we would have done differently or how we would have celebrated, you may also start to see what you did do in reality. Perhaps moving on to something else or not sharing it with others, not acknowledging it within yourself. So just coming back to imagining how you would truly, really want to celebrate that. What you would have done and how you would have felt, and blow it up as though that big picture has become bigger and grander and more colourful. It engages all the senses. So what do you see? What do you hear? What can you taste? What can you feel? And just bathe in that moment for a bit. And if you can, just bringing a gentle smile to the corner of the lips, because that changes how we feel on the inside. It brings a difference to the experience. It brings a lightness, it brings a joy. And as you use your imagination here, you may be guided towards a different experience. Something else that you would have rather have celebrated. So part of this is just trusting your own inner guidance and where this takes you. But just allowing yourself to be guided to knowing how you really wanted to truly celebrate that moment. Where you really stepped into all the emotions and feelings, whatever that brings up for you. And just noticing how our imaginations love to be free without censor. So if you're censoring yourself, just putting the censor to one side and allowing your imagination to be free and colourful and loud and big and grand. And just noticing how this all makes you feel. And now, in the next time in your life, when there's a moment to celebrate, just sharing with yourself what you would do differently. So it's like telling your future self what you would do differently next time to celebrate that moment. And whenever you feel complete, just allowing that beautiful memory and how it makes you feel just to settle into the background, so it's still a part of you. But bringing your attention towards the breath once more, back to that safe harbor of the breath in the body. So sensing the breath, on the inhale and the exhale. Allowing the breath to settle wherever it settles in the body. Just noticing how the body is, what state the body is in now that you have engaged your imagination, your intuition, your inner guidance on that image. Maybe there's a change in state in the body. Maybe it feels more alive or more rested. So just bringing awareness to the breath as you inhale, and as you exhale, seeing if you can inhale and exhale for a full count. So staying with the breath for a full inhalation before commencing the exhale for a full exhalation. And as we come to close this practice, bringing your attention now down to your feet, that place where we first began this practice together. So sensing your feet on the earth, on the floor, or the heels of the feet on the floor, and sensing that connection to Mother Earth. Then moving the awareness through any part of the leg that's in contact with the floor or the chair. So the calves, the back of the calves, the backs of the knees, the thighs. Then your awareness moves to the buttocks, to the sacrum, the lower back, middle back, upper back, the back of the head if you're lying on a cushion or a pillow. And then moving around to the hands resting on your lap or beside you. And gently in your own time, just releasing this practice and opening your eyes. So I will stop recording here.